Hello, Linda here from Barlates, Body Blitz and little Minnie on the sofa. Come and march with me while I chat to you about all things Barlates. So today is going to be a little bit different than my usual active chats because I want to basically give you a little bit of background about Barlates, the style of workouts that I do, and also to chat a bit about how to navigate my channel because I know there is a lot of content and a lot of new users can get a little bit overwhelmed with it. And also talk to you about the principles behind the workouts, why I do what I do, the method in my madness, and just in general to get to know you a little bit or for you to get to know me. So what we're going to do today is 60-second rounds and we're not going to have any rest, so do a butt kick. We're not going to do any rest periods in between, just flow from one exercise to the next. And if at any point you don't like the exercise, you can go back to marching in place. And if the pace is ever too fast, just slow it down. It really is just an extra way to get some steps in while I chat with you. So hopefully you are able to enjoy the workout at the same time. And I'll apologize in advance if I mess anything up because sometimes when I'm trying to think about what I'm saying, it's hard to also cue the next exercise. So do as I do, not as I say, if I say the wrong thing. So, first of all, welcome to my channel, especially if you're new and you haven't been following me for a while. I really appreciate you tuning in. And before we move on, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe because a lot of people don't. I think it's just literally, let's go sidestep, just an oversight. I do the same thing sometimes when I clock onto new channels. I forget to subscribe, but it really helps me out. So please take the time to just click that subscribe button. And whatever brought you to my channel, I want to start off by saying Barlates is not your average workout. It's definitely not mainstream. And I do get that even though I try to design the workouts or I design the variety of workouts to really suit everyone, I do realize that mentally sometimes there is a learning curve to my workouts. And that is what I want to chat to you about because you may have started off on a workout that has kind of left you feeling, let's do knee ups, that Barlates may not be for you. And don't worry, a lot of us have been there, but there are actually beginner workouts in the Barlates repertoire. And I'm not really saying beginner in the sense of the workouts are easy, but I'm talking about easing into my style of exercise, which is not your average mainstream YouTube channel with the instructors that don't talk and you just follow along. A lot of my workouts are not designed to be used that way. And therefore, I say that there is a bit of a learning curve to ease into them. What I have recently done to try and help people with that learning curve is I created a Just Start Here playlist, okay? Let's go forward and back, forward tap, forward tap, back tap. So in my playlists, you will see Start Here. And in there, I've got 5 full weeks of more beginner-friendly Barlates workouts. And Barlates beginner workouts are probably more intermediate in level, in fitness level, in strength, coordination, all of those things, all of those factors. So they're not beginner. So please, if you're new to Barlates, don't feel like you're stepping down if you start on a beginner workout. Okay, so they are still tough, and like I always say in my workouts, you can make the workout your own by adding extra equipment, or even by elevating. There are so many ways, let's go to the other side, to advance a workout that is more basic in terms of the exercises that are in there. So that playlist has got 5 weeks worth of Barlates workouts, but obviously it's something that you can use according to your level, according to your schedule. You do not ever have to use any of my playlists and calendars exactly how they are written. At Barlates, I really want to teach you to create your perfect routine that is challenging for you, but that is not going to leave you feeling fatigued, leave you feeling frustrated, demotivated, but it's something that will become a lifestyle change rather than just something that you do to get quick results. Not saying there won't be any results. Let's go across and across, slightly slower with a knee to the angle. So not saying that you're not going to get quick results, because you definitely can if you stick with the workouts, but it's meant to be a routine that you can keep growing with and that you never outgrow. So something that you can add to your lifestyle that is going to benefit you in more ways than one, and that you will continue to evolve with. So talking about evolving, you might be wondering, why am I qualified to give you this advice, or why should you be following my workouts and believing that you're going to get results and all of those things? Well, the main reason why is I am, in a way, a fractal version of you. So let's go side to side with arms out, reaching to the side. So what I mean by that is I have been a consumer of workout videos myself my entire life. Since I was a young teenager, I started off with DVDs and following all sorts of crazy instructors at the time, and I evolved in what I enjoyed, and I continued to change my style of exercise depending on how the type of workout I was doing made me feel, but not just that, also depending on injuries, because back in the day, in my early 20s, mid-20s, I was definitely one of those people who wanted to basically kill myself, let's go 2 steps across, in every workout. So I thought that I had to do the absolute hardest session in order for it to be worthwhile. I think a lot of young people are like that. They think that the more intense a workout, the more calories they burn, the more sweat, the more pain they're in, the better the results are going to be. But that obviously is not the case, definitely not long term, and often we learn the hard way, right? So I definitely learned the hard way. I was doing the highest energy workouts for years, CrossFit style workouts in gyms, as well as just finding videos that were supposedly the most intense, like the Beachbody workouts, Shaun T's Insanity and Insanity Asylum. I mean, even the names of these workouts are ridiculous, right? Let's go heels in front, swinging our arms to the side. And I used to do these on a daily basis, basically hammering my body. I used to add equipment to these crazy plyometric workouts to make them even harder. And unfortunately, I paid the price. And so it would have been probably about maybe 15 years ago, maybe even a bit longer, that I ended up getting heel spurs, plantar fasciitis. And it was so painful. If you don't know what that is, it's basically in your heel, there's a little bone that ends up growing a little spur, and so it digs into you from the inside. So whenever you're walking, you feel this painful kind of sharp pain, and it also is affected by your ligaments in your foot pulling. So let's go across for 2, heel for 2, across for 2, heel for 2. So always the inside leg does the heel. So I had to strap my feet. I couldn't wear a lot of different shoes. I ended up having to change my workout routine completely, and it was very sudden. It was literally from one week to the next that I developed these heel spurs, and I couldn't do plyometrics anymore. And of course, at the time, it was all about burning the calories, the most sweat, the most intensity, and I thought I was going to gain heaps of weight. I thought it was just going to be so terrible to not be able to do what I used to do. So I went on a hunt to try and find workouts that I could do. Now, can we do a grapevine? So it's step behind, step together, step behind, step together. If you don't like this, go 2 steps across. Okay, it's the same steps, the same step count, but all you're doing is stepping behind a little bit with that second step. So I went on a hunt to try and find workouts that would still challenge me without aggravating my feet. And I literally I went through probably, I would say 50 odd, if not more instructors, buying the DVDs at the time and just trying them and reading lots of reviews, trying to find the most difficult. And then I came across a brand called Fusion Fitness. And it was this little DVD with this girl in literally 80s style. Let's go knee and step. 80s style workout gear, bandana, leg warmers, everything. And I thought to myself, why are people saying this is so hard? It looks ridiculous. She was using tiny, like 1 pound hand weights. And in looking at it, previewing it, I thought to myself, how can this be so hard? But I thought, okay, if everyone's saying it's so difficult, I'll give it a go. And I was absolutely humbled because it was a completely different type of hard. It was micro movements. It was what seemed to be 1,000,000 reps in an already engaged position, and then you're doing tiny little arm circles and leg raises over and over and over. I could not do the entire workout without modifying. And for me, that was actually horrifying. Let's just go into a reach and then drop your knee into the middle. It was horrifying to me because I thought I was literally the fittest I could have been ever, right? And maybe I was in terms of cardiovascular fitness, but I definitely wasn't in terms of the smaller supporting muscle groups. So I got obsessed with this DVD. It was called Dream Body, Fusion Fitness Dream Body. It's still around, people. Go and buy it. It's amazing. And I got so obsessed with it that I did it nearly every day until I was able to do it without modifying. And then I kept doing it, adding more and more weight. So I started off with 1/2 kilo, which is 1 pound, and I ended up working my way up to 2 kilos, which is 4.4 pounds, right? So we're gonna go the other way with the knee and then the step touch. And so I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And in the meantime, I purchased more workouts that were similar. So once I found this genre, which was kind of like a bar fusion class, I kept looking into bar instructors, and I found a lot of classes that really, really burned. Bar exercises, especially the lower body exercises, they burned like crazy. And the great thing was I was up on my toes the entire time, which meant my heel spurs were not painful at all. So it was the perfect type of exercise for me at the time because of the injuries. So I kept going, and I was so surprised that with the bar exercises and hardly doing any cardio at this point, I actually became leaner. So we're going to push to the back, diagonal back, tap and push. And I was like, what's going on? I thought I had to kill myself, sweat 5 buckets, and burn 1,000 calories per workout in order to be lean. But no, not at all. It was the opposite. It was actually taxing my body so much that my body was just hanging on to stored fat because it was thinking it's constantly in fight or flight. All these workouts I was doing were so difficult that my cortisol was through the roof. And when your cortisol is really high and your system is stressed, your body does not want to let you use fat. It doesn't want to lose the fat. It literally thinks it needs to hang on to it in order to keep you alive, right? It's just simple biology. So by me toning down my workouts, I actually got really lean and without any cardio. I did end up spinning as well. So now let's go knee, step back, knee, step, 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 knee. So I ended up getting a spin bike because I do love cardio, which some people might be like, what, you love cardio? But I love it. I love the feeling, the endorphins of doing some cardio. And now I just do simple cardio like this, stepping zone 2 type cardio. And it gives me that heart rate lift, it gives me a little bit of a glow, and it makes me feel good. So this, dancing, a little bit of obviously walking outside in nature, all of these things are a great way to get cardio in, but without really taxing your system. Having said that, there are also many studies that talk about your heart health really benefiting from HIIT training every now and then, high intensity interval training. So we're going to go across and across, knee and knee. So little kick, knee and knee. So there is no hard and fast rule for anything. I'm just sharing with you what worked for me and basically why I do the types of workouts I do. So when I was probably about 2 years after I ended up with the heel spurs and I was doing the bar workouts religiously every day, and that was my main form of exercise, that is when I started my YouTube channel. So the workouts at the very beginning were very much a reflection of that. And over the years, it has morphed into various types of bodyweight training, Pilates, sometimes a bit of yoga thrown in, a lot of mobility training. So I have basically used myself as a guinea pig to keep progressing and trying new exercises. Let's go up and down, up and down. And then using those same styles, the ones that worked for me, the ones that I really enjoyed, and putting them into my workouts for you guys. So that's why I say I am a fractal version of you, in the sense that I am my consumer. So the people that do my workouts often are on a similar journey to me, and they appreciate the different directions that I take Barlates in. And there are definitely some veterans that have been with me from the very beginning, and they will have seen the evolution of Barlates throughout the years. Now, another really big turning point came when I got really sick at the end of 2020. So I had already toned down my workouts a lot in terms of not doing those really high intensity abrasive workouts, but I was still doing maybe 2 hours sometimes of really difficult body weight style workouts that were not difficult in terms of plyometrics or heart rate, but they were still considered very advanced. And then I got really sick, and I'm not going to go into all of that, but it was a hormonal issue that basically came out of nowhere, and within a space of about less than a month, I went from being able to do not crazy, but really difficult 2-hour workouts to being in pain and hardly even being able to do a 30-minute mat workout. So once again, that was a massive, massive transition period for me. And during that time, I actually stopped filming and working altogether. Let's just go back to step touch. Maybe go down a little bit as you go to the side. And I had to build my way back up. I was really sick for probably about 2 years. And during that time, I literally just did minimal Pilates style workouts, no cardio at all, apart from maybe walking a little bit. But I really reached the baseline once again, probably less than the baseline, because I used to do, even in my worst times of injury, I used to do harder workouts than I did during those 2 years. And during those 2 years, I went through huge realizations about myself, about childhood trauma, about so many things. Let's stay on one side and just do knees. Now, if this gets too much, because we're staying on one side, you can just tap in like this. I did deep meditations. I did all sorts of trauma healing. I really dove deep into my own psyche, because for the first time I had the opportunity to, because I was so sick I couldn't do anything. And that really changed my perspective on so many things, including exercise. So all you people who have suffered long-term illness, either injuries or other illnesses, believe me, I know, I've been there. And I have had to reinvent myself countless times, sometimes from absolute rock bottom. But I always had hope that through muscle memory and just through the fact that I love movement so much, that I love exercise so much, I knew that I could rebuild. And I let go of any sort of idea that I needed to be like I was. And I just started to focus on what made me feel good. And that journey has been going now for a good, so I started, I think my first workout back, I filmed at the beginning of 2023. So I've been back now nearly 3 years, filming and evolving. And I feel like I'm in another transition period now. So the last 3 years worth of workouts have been very focused on being kind to yourself, on keeping your cortisol levels down, being hormone-friendly workouts. So anyone that is going through, say, perimenopause, anyone who has had any hormonal issues, let's go side step for 2, step, step, side step for 2. All of those illnesses that elevate cortisol in some way and leave your body stressed out, chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue, all of those sort of illnesses, you would definitely benefit from a lot of the workouts that I produced over the last 3 years. They are definitely not as difficult as some of my earlier workouts where I was, younger and also not as aware of what was good for me. Not saying that those workouts aren't still of value. I do believe that they still are, and I have personally recently gone back to doing a lot of workouts I used to do, say 5 years ago. But the gentler workouts are definitely not only, let's just march in place, not only a great place to start if you're new to Barlates, but they will help you to kindly and gently reshape your body. Okay, so now going full circle back to what I mentioned at the very beginning, that Barlates is not your average workout. I've given you a little bit of background, and I'm still going to finish off what I was saying there in a little bit, so make sure you listen to the end. But going back to that, Barlates is not your average workout. It's because it doesn't just address your average goal. So your average goal of perhaps wanting to lose fat, wanting to get stronger, wanting to get leaner, all of those things. Yes, let's go side and back. So we're step, 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 step. So yes, you will still achieve those goals if you consistently do Barlates. But my goal for myself and for you with my workouts is much bigger than that. I want you to learn to enjoy exercise. I want you to not just work on the exterior, but work on mental strength as well. I want you to be able to think for yourself and think about what you enjoy doing. So I offer many modifications throughout my workouts, and I try and get you to do what is challenging to you rather than following exactly what I'm doing. There are certain workouts like these kind of fun cardio sessions that I don't really talk so much about doing your own modifications and making it your own. Let's go other side, side and behind. But you will find that in any of my more comprehensive sessions that are more total body focused, I definitely do. And I always try to provide modifications so that people from all levels can follow the workouts. And not only are we working on strength, fat loss, all of those beautiful things, we are looking out for our future selves. No matter what age you're at, eventually you're going to get old, people. And your muscles and your bones and your ligaments will not be the same as they are now or the same as they were. So we are working not only strength, heart health, but we're working stability, mobility, flexibility, all of those beautiful things, our balance especially. Some workouts, getting up off the ground, getting up and down, so that you can definitely, let's just go side to side again, so that you can definitely grow with these workouts and improve no matter what age you are. So that is really why I say that I am not trying to be mainstream. I'm not trying to be one of those cookie cutter instructors that basically just puts out a workout, or rather films themselves exercising, doesn't give you any type of instruction and hopes that you can follow along, okay? Or that you just basically consume one instructor then another then another. If you're that type of mainstream exerciser, I would have to say that Barlates is not for you, because it is not going to be, I guess, satisfying in that way, where you just keep getting more and more and more content. I'm trying to teach you with my workouts, and I'm trying to help you guys to become better versions of yourself. 1, 2, 3 and tap. 1, 2, 3 and tap. So you have to listen to my pep talk sometimes, usually at the end of a workout, or if you're doing some of my walking series, it's throughout the entire thing. And this is what my channel is about. If you don't want pep talks, if you don't want to grow, not just physically but also mentally, and to learn new things and to keep evolving, then Barlates is not for you. So a lot of people ask me, why is it that your channel doesn't have 1 million followers? And you know why? It's because I'm not mainstream, and I refuse to cater to mainstream taste. I only do the things that I feel are beneficial, not just for me, but for as many people out there as possible. And that is not usually, let's just go arms cross and tap out to the side. And that is not usually what's trending on TikTok right now, or trending in YouTube right now. It's much more slow and controlled and a mental game in the sense. So if you are very new to my channel and you have found yourself getting a little bit frustrated with some of my workouts simply because you're finding them hard to follow, maybe it's the coordination, maybe it's knowing which leg you're on, maybe it's just simply too many reps, right? Repping you to death, then number one, I would suggest comment, contact me. I can give you suggestions which workouts to do according to what your goals are. I can help you out for sure. And also look in the playlists. There are playlists for everything. There's so many playlists, it's ridiculous. So if you need some help there, then definitely let's just look at the playlist, maybe do a beginner's calendar to start with and get some help. Okay, what can we do to ramp it up? How about we do heel taps? Let's do some heel taps in front. Big long arms. Tummies are in. So that's definitely something that you can do. But the number one thing I would say to you is give it a good month. Okay? Give it a good month. Continually do Barlates as part of your exercise routine. Maybe do it 3 to 5 times a week if you can. And you will get used to my style. Even though I have a lot of variety and I love to play with different equipment and I'm constantly morphing into slightly different styles. Now let's go behind and do the same thing and tap our heel. The actual underpinnings of my workouts can sometimes be quite similar, and there usually is a bit of a flow to what I'm doing. So once you get used to it, your body will learn how to respond much more quickly. And then if you don't overthink it and you just try to move in the way that's the most comfortably uncomfortable for you, or that seems to flow, then you'll find it's not stressful, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you'll start to enjoy it more. Now, of course, I realize that not every single human will be able to gel with Barlates, even if they give it a good month or more. And I know that's why there's so many different instructors out there, because literally we want variety as humans, right? Let's go side and heel front. So I'm not saying that everyone will become a die-hard fan after a month, but I'm just saying do yourself a favor. And in a society where we have such short attention spans that the majority of people would have already turned this off, give yourself the gift of long-form content, of workouts where there's lots of reps, where it's more of endurance style, where you have to go to your happy place, you have to kind of go mind over matter and keep pushing through, because it's actually going to benefit you not just during the workout, but also in your day-to-day life. So we are nearly done, people. Keep breathing. A last round coming up. I hope what I said made sense to you. That one got my heart rate up. Let's go other side. If you have any questions at all, please just comment below and I'm more than happy to help you out. I will leave links to all of the things I mentioned, the playlist, especially the Start Here playlist, in the description section of this video. So you can click on that and have a look at those workouts. And stay tuned, because lots of new workouts are coming up. Oh, and the last thing I wanted to also mention is I do have a membership site. So once you have started with my workouts, maybe done a few of the calendars on my channel, and if you really enjoyed it, you can access my longer form content through my memberships. So the Barlates exclusive membership, it's $14.99 Australian a month, I believe it's $9.99 US, will give you access to hundreds of longer workouts if that's your jam. That's it, people. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope you got a good workout. I know it was pretty simple, but it got my heart rate up. And I hope you know a little bit more about Barlates now. And I'll be back again very soon with another active chat. Bye for now.